I'm going to step out of my role today and publish a totally different content. I'm going to tell you the things that I've found in Thailand that no one else has published. It's only on this channel. First of all, hardware stores. The major hardware stores, which is 3 odd in Thailand really, I won't mention their names. They don't own the stock on their shelves, and they've got heaps of staff, which means they're very low salaried. But if you're buying a large ticket item, everyone will want to help you. If you're buying a low ticket item, they're going to ignore you. That's because they're obviously getting commissions. So if you're spending hundreds of dollars, someone's going to escort you to the product. And that's why you have trouble with warranties all the time, particularly in the hardware stores, because you're not fighting the warranty with the hardware store, you're fighting with 2 people, the supplier and the hardware store, and neither of them want to give you the money back. In saying that, I've got to tick these off as I go. I don't want to go over them again. Thailand, in Chiang Mai, in what was the old children's court, is now a magistrate's court, but they have a Department of Consumer Affairs on the first floor. We've used it probably 5 times. They are a mighty group of people to work with. We got a positive result every time, usually the money back or a minimum replacement or a repair to our satisfaction. But it's not like Western Consumer Affairs. They really jump in and fight for you. I just had a friend that used them, and he got a really substantial payout as a result of a safety ladder failure in his apartment building, and they backed him the whole way and they got it done. Consumer Affairs are available under the Prime Minister's office with a Google search. Use them. One of the problems that you'll have here, and this is a generalisation, there's no trade courses. I mean, a bricklayer doesn't get trained to lay brick. He doesn't do a 4 or 5 year apprenticeship, nor does a mechanic, nor does a carpenter or a painter. They adapt to a job and decide that that's going to be their business. I'd imagine the success rate in terms of quality is probably 60 to 80%. I've yet to see 100% job. For example, if you want your car looked after and serviced, you really need to buy only a Toyota, because Toyota is substantial in Thailand, and they actually send their mechanics out of country for training. So you're getting a qualified mechanic that does the work. Their prices are exceptionally reasonable and fair, and their service is absolutely impeccable. Any other car wouldn't consider it. Every bike you buy, I mean, I bought an ATV, paid a fair bit of money for it. The service was absolutely horrendous. You have to accept that you've got to find ways to get it done yourself, and it's really hard because there are just no qualified people in this country. If you can't fix it with a hammer, it probably can't be fixed. No training. Asian people generally live in the moment, especially if you live in a rural area as we do. if you make an appointment for someone to come and do some gardening work for you, lawn mowing, well, it doesn't matter what it is, the chances of them arriving on the day are probably 30%, 40% maybe. I don't expect them to arrive at the first appointment. I expect them to arrive probably around the third appointment, and then I get a 60 to 80% job. The exception to that is we have a worker that comes once a week. We've now tied him down to Fridays. Wonderful man. But the only people that are going to come and do outside work for you are going to be elderly people. We've had probably 8 workers in 13 years, and every one of them has been over 60. Our current worker is 72. So we look after him. If we get 4 or 5 hours a day, I'm really happy. And I actually stop him from working and get him to sit under a tree and drink water, because I'm frightened he'll hurt himself. He just wants to keep going. But the young people, it's a no-go, no-show. And it might not be that way in the city. I've never lived there, so can't tell you. We'll get off that one. The legal situation here. I have been in the High Court of this country, the Supreme Court, 5 times. I paid a total cost of $800, and the experience was absolutely fabulous. My experience was the lawyers don't argue a case. They prepare a folio, if you like, of the evidence, and they, in robes, present it to the judge. The judge may ask you 1 or 2 perfunctory questions. It usually takes about 10 minutes, and the folio is left with the judge, and he gives you a date, usually somewhere around 30 days, and you go back, and he makes his decision based on the portfolios that he was given by the lawyer. But standing and arguing cases, I never saw it. Almost every case that I was aware of during those 5 visits to the courts were about families fighting over property. But yes, the court system, don't be frightened of it. And it doesn't favourtise over phalanx, it favours the law. But judges have a lot of discretion. Well, it's how it appeared to me. Hospitals. I went to Bangkok Hospital. I should have called the police, because after 2 hours of a doctor no-show, I decided it wasn't for me. So I was leaving the building. They locked the doors on my wife and myself in the reception area. They put a guard outside the door so I couldn't smash the door to get out. They locked the fire doors. There was no way out of the building, and they held us at ransom, Bangkok Hospital in Chiang Mai, until we coughed up somewhere around $28,000 for the 2 hours we sat and waited for a doctor. I've been to Chiang Mai Hospital, not Chiang Mai Hospital, Rams, they were fine. What's the other one? The Christian Hospital. Can't think of it, but anyone in Chiang Mai would know what I'm talking about. Great hospital, but once again, one night we went in there for a medical reason, and 2 hours of a doctor no-show, I said, I'm out of here. And we were chased, physically chased, by the security guards trying to stop us leaving the premises and the grounds. They followed us all the way out to the road, and the last yell I heard was a security guard yelling, "Who will be responsible if you have an accident?" Wow. And They sent me a bill for 6,000 baht, which I refused to pay, and I haven't heard from them. The quality of their service, if you go there, is fabulous. But the best hospital treatment I've had is in the public system. And most of the doctors in the private system are compelled to donate 1 day a week into the public system. It's an unusual way it works. But the private system in Chiang Mai, for example, I spend my time visiting Mayon Hospital. If they can't fix something or they haven't got the equipment, they stick me in an ambulance, which I pay $25 for. They run me into the primary care unit in near the city, which has every conceivable medical device and scientists you could imagine. And I'm treated, and they take me back within the cost of $25. They take me back to Chiang Mai. The public-private hospital services are fabulous, but you can only go to the one in your area. We're lucky that we've got a really modern hospital, wonderful doctors, and every year Susie and I put on our Santa Claus hats and we take 15 tins of butternut cookies to the hospital, stick them in a wheelchair and deliver one to every department. And they've become close and personal friends. I wouldn't walk into a private hospital. Death would be more favourable. Living costs in Thailand. God, this has been crazy in what people say. Living costs relate to who you are and how you choose to live. We've got a huge modern house on 7 rai of land. I've got tractors, I've got every piece of equipment you could want. I get an Australian pension, and we probably save the best part of $1,000 a month. We eat local food, we go to Macro and we buy up once a month so that I get some of the Western food that I like. We don't smoke, we don't drink. So this is really inexpensive. And people say that it's not. They're gamblers, smokers and drinkers and probably chasing gals, party people. I mean, if you're I'm a Salvation Army guy. I mean, I live a modest life. I don't shop for the sake of shopping. So Asia is really inexpensive. If you're not managing, you're the problem, not where you're living. One of the problems that you'll have is Asia, because it was born in poverty and still very impoverished, has a stalled economy, just like the rest of the world at the moment. So nothing's moving. We've got real estate that we own that we'd love to sell, but I mean, we might get a call every few months from as a result of some of the ads we run. We only run free ads now because paid ads don't generate any more than free ads. FASWAs have been wonderful. At least we've had a few calls off that. But in Thailand, because it's born out of poverty, but certainly Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Sri Lanka, I mean, I've worked, lived and had businesses in most of them. Not here, I'm retired now. But you are culturally seen as a walking ATM. And the first consideration, be it a relationship, be it buying something, it's all about the money. If you think in any way that you're important and your personal feelings are consideration in the transaction, you got it wrong. It's all about the money, and small money. I mean, for an Australian, 1 baht is about 4 cents. But a Thai earning 200 or 300 baht a day, 400 baht a day, he thinks a baht's valuable. We don't, but he does. Crime, very low. I mean, it happens, but it makes front page. Interesting legal thing that happens in this country is when the police catch offenders, drug dealers and murderers, which are occasionally, they go on television and they confess to the crime, because if they fight it, they get double the sentence if they lose. So they almost all confess to it to have a reduced sentence. So they confess to it, they go to sentencing, go to prison. What might have been a 30-year stint becomes a 15-year stint. I think good behaviour applies as well, so there are benefits. Would I choose to live here? Likely no, because the one thing that Asia has always lacked is passion. I mean, I love the arts, I like watching the ballet. If it weren't for YouTube, I'd go completely nuts. I mean, you don't have the activities that you have in a Western country where you can be busy 24 hours a day if you can stay away. Asia offers nothing. It offers you food and shopping and national parks and temples. That's it. If you think you're going 10-pin bowling and you're going to play mini golf and water skiing, yeah, that water skiing could happen, but I mean, it'd be isolated and probably difficult to arrange. Ballooning is here, hot air ballooning, but if you're not in the club, you're probably not going to get an invite. But the excitement we know of football, cricket, and all the things that happen in the West are just not going to happen here. It is incredibly boring. I mean, if it were not for YouTube, I'd probably be driven away completely. But I've got a huge television and a great sound system, so I can bring the arts to me, but it'll never be the same. And Tim and Steve on TNT, great job, guys. Love it. And wouldn't miss Sunday for anything. Take care, guys. I'm gone.